So the takeover happened, and that marked the first time in almost 150 years that there was no longer a Busch Brewing beer. And my wife came and said, you know, we got to do something. We got to keep this great tradition going. She mentioned that to me, and I couldn't have agreed with her more. And I said, sure, okay, let's continue the tradition by writing chapter 2 of the Busch Brewing legacy. And that's how it all got started in 2011 when we formed the William K. Busch Brewing Company. The great thing about it is my wife and I have 7 children. You know, they're all kind of involved in the beer business, even though there's some under 21. They're still a part of it because they all have input. This is a family business. We all work together. We make decisions together, whether it's marketing, branding, building a brewery, coming out with new beers, where we're going to expand to. All those things, wholesalers that we're going to partner with, are part of decision making by the family that we all sit down. The first thing we had to go out and find was a brewmaster. We decided we were going to get into lager beers. So we looked all around the United States and we found the right guy who happened to be right here in our backyard. His name is Mark Gottfried, and he and I worked with the German brewmaster to develop our beers and come up with the recipes. It took us about 1.5 years to do that because we wanted to make the very, very finest lager beers in the marketplace. And we feel that we were able to accomplish that. And I think what speaks highly of that is the fact that we have won now 32 medals in major beer competitions throughout the world on the quality and the taste of our beer.
You know, as a brewmaster, my background started in craft brewing, and I was very fortunate to be involved at a small brewery that only made lager beer. Generally, there's only 2 kinds of beer, ale and lager, and lager takes longer to make, up to 4 times longer. It's also more expensive to make because of that. And it's kind of a specialty. And at the time, there weren't a lot of people doing it because it was more expensive to do. And that was our point of difference. With, you know, brewing's interesting. It's all about numbers. So there's a number that equates to the color of the beer. There's a number that equates to the calories, to the alcohol content. It's a numbers game. So you design the perfect beer on paper, and then you execute it in the form of a pilot batch. And then you taste it and you look at it and you test it and make sure that you got what you thought you were gonna get. And you continue to make changes, you make it better and better, and you do a pilot batch after pilot batch to get it to the point when you think you're ready. And that's what we did over the course of about 2 years. At first we were kind of working towards one beer, and we were going about it 2 different ways, and at one point we decided these are 2 great beers on their own. We really want to create a brand family, and that's how Crafted Lager and Crafted Light were born. The premium lager category is an interesting one to compete in, to say the least, but we have one specific advantage, and that is that it's full of competition trying to make their beer in the most cost-effective manner possible. You've got massive corporations who are publicly traded that are trying to are making enormous amounts of beer, and they're trying to do it as cheaply as possible. They're using corn syrup, rice, all sorts of different adjuncts and methods to make the beer less expensive to make. We are challenged by our smaller size, but one thing that Billy said to me when we first started, make the best beer you can first, and then let's work the rest of the business around that. And that's precisely what we did. And what we came up with was an all malt beer. This is to say the beer is made completely of barley malt. There's no adjuncts in it. It's one of the only ones brewed in accordance with Reinheitsgebot, which is a German purity law from 1560, and it says we can only use hops, malt, yeast, and water. And for a premium lager, it just makes better beer. Winning awards in brewing is not easy. You're not dealing with robots, you're dealing with the human palate. So when they drink a beer, you've got to make an impression on them, and it's got to be great to place. And we've been very, very lucky to win, I believe, 32 medals in the past almost 6 years now. It's probably unprecedented in terms of volume. Besides that, one of the ones we're particularly proud of is the US Open. We've won 5 consecutive gold medals in a row in the American Premium Light category. It's something that's absolutely never been done before.
As far as we know, there's very few American premium lagers left that are real Americans. They're mainly foreign companies. So we're one of the few that's still the real American lager here. And I'm proud to be an American offering this great product to the American beer drinkers.